an unpopular opinion they have is my child-free husband and I are a family. Kids are part of a family, not the whole family unit. We can be complete without having the kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've heard someone say that before, but I can feel my own conditioning resisting that.
I too.
Yeah, because I feel like you're a couple. But family to me,
couple, yes.
Yeah, you're definitely a couple. You're a unit for sure.
Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI.
I think that may be the first time I've actually looked in the camera. Hello, camera. It's easier on this side.
Yeah, for some reason. No, I feel like it's easy on that side.
Yeah, it's definitely easy on this side. Karibuni tena, guys. How are you?
Yeah, because it looks like it's there. It's not like she's not engaging me. So it's like, why should I engage you?
Yeah.
She's engaging me.
Reciprocity.
That's
Reciprocity
in
relationships.
That's
important. It's an important factor.
Thank you.
Welcome, guys, to yet another episode. We know you loved last week's episode. We know because we saw the comments. We saw the edges. Most of Nairobi is walking around. Where are the edges? We don't know. We have no idea. But thank you for coming yet again. You don't know if this is going to be another edgeless episode, but you're here, tuned in. And we love that. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure that you're definitely subscribed. We always say this in every single episode, and there's still people who have not subscribed, but we're not going to stop saying it because we want this community to grow. And we want to say, when you go out there and you say you're an in-betweener, you're saying it with your chest. You're saying it with your chest.
Exactly.
And follow us on socials because that's where we do most of the engagement. That's where we do a lot of the brain farts. That's where we do a lot of the updates on what's coming up. We've got reels on our live event coming up. Outfit inspos, you're not seeing them because you're not following us. TMI Podcast KE, Lydia KM. I was going to say
you're going to say
Lydia KM,
Murugi Munyi. Anyways, it's interchangeable. We are literally the same person.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the time you guys are watching this, that means that our TMI live experience is this coming weekend. Maybe by this point, even our tickets will have sold out. Who knows?
Yeah. I trust.
Who knows?
I trust. But this Wednesday, if it's on Saturday, it's definitely sold out.
If already sold out, sorry, why didn't you buy a ticket? If it's not sold out, please buy a ticket.
Please.
If it's not sold out, please buy a ticket. We would love to see you on Saturday. And at this point, you've finished your Euro trip. Wow.
I came back
you had such a
yesterday.
Wow, and you had fun?
Wait. That's crazy.
I know. You had fun on your trip, right?
I had the best time off. What a dream it
was.
Yeah? What a dream.
It must have been so lovely to be back with your family. That must have been lovely. It was so cry. Good just being able to watch like your content. It was just so great.
Yeah.
It was just
Thank
amazing.
you so much. You are really watching my content.
And I was really engaging. You saw me in the comments,
yeah,
right?
all the time. Like, oh my God, thank you. I did great content.
So good.
I did.
But I also love that you took like all those days off. Like you rested.
I needed
and you were just giving us 2 stories a day. I loved that. I loved that. Good job, Lydia. Okay?
Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you.
So proud of you. Yeah. Interesting. You have the same hairstyle as like when you left.
Imagine. And it's still brand new. It's still brand new. Guys, if you're out of context, we are pre-shooting before I travel. Right, today is when? What day is it?
We're not even in August.
We're not in August. Today is the 31st of July.
Right, just the 1st of July. Yeah, literally.
31st of July. By the time you're watching, it's 28th of August. So that's why we're laughing because obviously we have no idea what's going to come.
Also, if you're wondering why I have a full face beat and Lydia doesn't, it's just because she has some issues
she
with her
betrayed
skin.
me.
So
guys, we said we are not going to come with makeup. And she not only did she wear makeup, she did a full B.
But
don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight me, Murugi. Don't gaslight me.
Can I get a sentence in?
Oh yeah, remember I was told.
Before they come for your edges, please. They already snatched last week. Yeah, guys, it's because I had forgotten. We literally had that conversation about no makeup last week at the shoot. Last week. And then we had facials this week on Monday. We didn't say anything about makeup. We didn't say nothing. And usually she'll send a message and be like, oh, by the way, remember we are not doing makeup. Like, she'll remind me, but it's like she's gotten tired of
I need to remind you to
me.
not betray me. So this is what happened. We talked about it last week, and then we said we need to do the facials. And when you do a facial, you shouldn't put makeup within 48 hours. So the facial was confirmation that we are not doing makeup today. All she's doing is basically trying to go around admitting the fact that she has betrayed me.
But also Lydia has lashes. So imagine you have come here without any makeup and then with no lashes.
You have big eyes. We've been through this. You're fine.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But you look so cute with the lashes.
Just...
My kids are trying to FaceTime me, but no, I will not answer.
Okay. Whatever.
She looks mad, but she's not really mad. This is her face when she seems mad, but she's not actually mad. Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of angry, today's episode is going to be on popular opinions about family. Stop typing. Sarah, relax. Listen to the episode first before you start typing. This is a really interesting one because family is obviously very important, and it is safe, not even but, and it is safeguarded as if it is. But now, as times have gone and people have like woken up a bit more to the fact that, by the way, family is just people, there are some views that feel like they need a little bit more updating because some of the views that especially we have of family are what perpetuate some of the terrible behaviors within family.
Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about. And it also could be good, by the way. Even though it says unpopular, it always seems like it needs to be negative, but it can also be popular. Do you have a positive one?
I do. As people have sent some positive ones, by the way. Yeah. I'll find them, but some of them it's just like there are some positive ones. It's just like, I think maybe it just like it's in Africa, or is it Black culture or African culture? I feel like because the narrative has been negative for so long, the things that people have been withstanding for ages has been so horrible. Now people are breaking free when it comes to like black tax and like having to deal with like toxic uncles and toxic aunties, and it's just like, no, this is family. Now I feel like millennials towards now Gen Zs are the ones who are breaking out of it and being like, no, we're actually not going to stand for this. And that's why a lot of the unpopular opinions, I would say, are the opposite, are pretty much negative. But also, a lot of the opinions you guys shared are not necessarily unpopular.
Right. People tend to miss that part.
It's mostly shared opinions about family.
Yeah.
And opinions about family, which I think like most of the people from our day and age would agree with that opinion that people are sharing.
Yeah. So let me tell you, that's not the way I visualize it. The way that it's looking like in my head is that it's had this family over everything and dirt and raw. Everything is rosy. Because even the toxic uncles you're talking about, we didn't have the language to articulate as toxic. We thought this was normal. So what I see is that it had this like glass perfection around it, and now that's cracking. That's exactly.
Maybe I didn't articulate it, but that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah. That's it. It's definitely shifting for sure.
Absolutely. Let me start with one that I feel like is, I don't know how many people will be able to relate to it, but this one is like to do with the nuclear family. Someone said, an unpopular opinion they have is, my child-free husband and I are a family. Kids are part of a family, not the whole family unit. We can be complete without having the kids.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've heard someone say that before, but I can feel my own conditioning resisting that.
I too.
Yeah, because I feel like you're a couple. But family to me,
couple, yes.
Yeah, you're definitely a couple. You're a unit for sure.
But are you a
family?
For
me, like, and as I'm saying, it's my conditioning, and I'm absolutely not trying to invalidate anyone. I'm just sharing my view from how I feel. Is there's resistance to that because I feel like kids is what kind of makes the family. That's what it becomes. I feel like there's a couple and then there's a family. However, I do think it's really good for us to start going towards seeing a couple as like a complete family, because it's not forget being childless. There are people who are unable to have children, and they shouldn't just always be seen like you guys are incomplete. Like, let's like add something to you because the picture is not right. So I 100% support the need to push that narrative, and I'm definitely going to work even visually to make it different.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I feel like for me, it almost feels like different in my head knowing that a couple is trying for children and can't, versus these are people who have decided not to have children. Like, but I don't know why.
Would the other one be family? Either way.
Yeah, kind of. It just feels like if they've decided, it just feels like, okay, you've already, like, you're complete the way you are. But if me knowing that even you guys don't feel like you're complete because you are trying for a baby, so you guys yourselves
so
are
it's
trying
better
to
on the
complete.
childless.
Yeah, it's better on the child free. That's what I'm
child
saying.
Free,
Yeah,
sorry.
because for the child free, it's just kind of like, yeah, you guys you need the two of you, and that's how you guys want it. But now it's like, oh, you're trying, but you're not able. It's just like, oh, there's this thing which they want to make sure that their families are family, and then we add, kind of thing.
I get it.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I don't necessarily think that the being child free, you need to be termed as a family. I just think you're complete, period.
Right.
It's like this is enough. Like seeing people who don't have children, I don't see a question mark. But I don't know if I see a family.
Right.
That's that's the difference.
I feel like I do sometimes. I feel like automatically I do feel a bit of a question mark, especially when it's like people who have seen like your trajectory of like dating, getting married, and then it's been like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm just like,
you're expecting, right?
And it's like I obviously will not say it because I've been raised well, and now in this age I know some people are choosing to be child free. People might be struggling, but like I know the way it'll seem to me. Like when someone comes up on my feed, I'm like, but these guys got married a while ago. They don't have any kids yet. In my mind, I know I'm going to think that because of the conditioning. But again, we need to work against that because in reality, a family can be also just two people. Just the couple.
Yeah.
And the family.
That's it. That word.
The
and
couple.
Just, yeah, that's what we're working through. But you're 100% right. You are real. It is true. Okay, so one of mine I would say is, and it's something which is consistently said, family is everything. My opinion is that family is not everything. And this is coming from someone who is obsessed with hers. I would say I spend too much time with my family, I would say. However, if family was everything, number one, it should be based on how well they treat each other, not how much you should forgive the ones who treat you poorly. And that's where the narrative always comes from. It's never the toxic abuser who's being told family is everything, so maybe stop touching your niece. I don't know, niece.
Yeah.
It's never that. It's the niece who is trying to draw boundaries or take this abuser to prison, who's being told family is everything. And actually, to be honest, that's what I have a problem with. More than necessarily the term family is everything, how it's always used. It's always used in that way to kind of get people to stay in a family dynamic where they're being hurt, abused for the sake of a family to just stay together. So it's unpopular, but that's it. It's not everything.
Definitely. I would say family is important.
Deeply important.
It's important. Exactly. I think the only thing on earth that I could ever say is everything is like God. Or God, like, your faith is everything. That I can feel like, God is everything to me. It feels like this is like where everything starts and ends. But family, I don't know.
No. And guess what? It should be, it's more not necessarily the family members who treat you with respect and see you as a human beings are everything. That I can take. Yeah. But now just saying family, because you're born in the same situation, that you guys need to be each other's everything.
That's very problematic.
Absolutely not. And there's plenty of family who you don't even know. Like, for example, actually, we were talking with my shosho from my mom's side, and she was telling me when her dad, when Haguka from South Africa relocated, he relocated with some of his brothers. So there's like all of this like SA family, or like people who kind of are from SA who we are related to. Well, that can't be everything, surely, because
where are they?
I don't know. I don't know, So yeah, I feel like we need to, if you find yourself saying family is everything, I hope you're saying it from the place of holding someone accountable or just reminding people from a positive aspect. But when somebody is trying to say that they need boundaries with family members, family is everything is a very invalidating statement.
Exactly, yeah. I can see the concept of family is everything in the context of the family who you choose or like whatever exactly to be around you. The fact that we live life in community, like the people around you who are able to support you and be with you, and like the people who you turn to as like your support system or whatever, that is everything in terms of being able to just live a good, comfortable life. The people you can go to watch your kids, the ones who will tell you when like who are gonna be there on your line for your rurasho, the ones who will be like the people around you who you surround yourself with, who are actually like there for your good, for you, and for your benefit. Those are definitely everything. Everyone else,
I don't know.
No, sweetie. And I think there was a lot of points. A lot of people said the concept of like blood is thicker than water. For them, that one is just like an absolute no, which I think is just like in line with the family's everything kind of thing. A lot of people are just like, no, blood is not necessarily thicker than water. There's a lot of people who said that they have friends who are much closer to them and they care for more than their actual family. So telling someone blood is thicker than water, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of friendships who for sure are above even some of like very close family members, because we cannot tolerate each other, or it's just not working or aligned for us to be around each other. So yeah,
I definitely agree with that. There's one which someone said an unpopular opinion is that we have to stick together no matter what. Sometimes just leave. And I was like, absolutely 100% I agree with that. However, for me, I don't know if this is my unpopular opinion, I feel like family for me deserves more of a fight than just a person who I met. And I usually feel like it's usually the other way around. Sometimes it's like people will be in friendships where like your friend is not nice to you at all, but you'll be there for years and years and years. It's just like, I don't know why people don't realize the toxicity in friendships as much. But I feel like yes, exactly. But with family, I just feel like because they are my family, because they are blood, I do feel like I am willing to put up more of a fight, more of a back and forth, more of a we are trying to make it work, because like my intention is for it to actually work. Almost like the difference between a husband and a boyfriend. It's kind of like for both of them I can leave, but like for the husband, I'm gonna put in like literally all my effort, and by the time I'm leaving, it's like I've tried everything and it's not working. I'm not likely to just be like, yeah, I know your family, but like if we just don't get along, we don't get along, that's it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think because of how much family is in our lives, in our day-to-day funerals, wedding, whatever, it's like it does make sense that since we are more connected, you want to give it a bit more effort. However, because of that, it tends to be even more severe.
I get
what
that, yeah.
you're seeing as like, okay, because you're my family, I'm gonna work harder. The person who's taking the piss sees it as, see, we are family.
Exactly.
So they can take the piss. So now that dance can be really scary if one person is saying, let me keep trying, and this other person is saying, we are family, of course they'll forgive me, or whatever else. Yeah, but if I put down a list, I'm definitely willing to do more to stay connected with my family. By the time I have stopped talking to somebody who is in my family, like I've drawn a boundary, it's gone around to the point of like, even if we can reconcile and be better, it's like what has transpired is too much.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, as in I will never be able to see you the same way. Just like how let's say if someone is cruel to you,
right?
It's like I can forgive the
I can
act,
remember that
but I remember you chose to be cruel to me.
Yeah, it's
what?
True.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah,
agreed.
Go on, you can do one.
Okay, someone said an unpopular opinion. People always say that when you're younger, clashing with siblings is normal, and when you get older, you get closer. I don't think that is true. That's what she said. She said she doesn't think that it's true. That when you're younger, clashing with siblings is normal, but when you get older, you definitely get closer.
I mean, based on the sibling stories that the episodes that we did, sister, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but I feel like generally as we get older, it gets easier to be able to like navigate your emotions and like your emotional regulation with regards to people in general. Siblings obviously when you're younger, because you're in this exact same space, you're having to share everything, of course you're always fighting. But I feel like as you grow up and you're able to regulate yourself emotionally, you're able to like communicate, by the way, I don't like this, you're able to set boundaries. I feel like it just makes sense that perhaps your clashing will be less. If you find that as you're getting older your fights are getting worse or they're still as bad, I feel like maybe that's more of like a self healing or like self-work thing that each of the siblings need to do to be able to actually build a meaningful relationship, I think.
Maybe they just clash personality-wise. If you have like really different values, then you're gonna need to let it go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, siblings can be quite tough. And also the clashing. What's clashing?
That's the thing.
She burnt you, she broke your leg. I mean, what's clashing? Let's define that.
I always think it's just more like a verbal exchange, intense
but if like somebody was like consistently like maybe like, I don't know, body shaming you or whatever else, like consistently, those things won't evaporate when you're older.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the kind of clashing was. If it's just like harmless, I get it, but babe.
Yeah, painful.
So this is an unpopular opinion about family. A family can just be a mom and her kids.
Yeah.
I think so. That's interesting. Actually, so is it just like as long as they're kids, it's a family?
No, I think actually what the general narrative, even with the one about couple, is that we should be able to appreciate that families look different in this day and age. Families can look very different. It can be two dads and kids. It can be two moms and kids. It could be just a dad and his kids.
Yeah.
It could be just a dad and a mom. No, wait, but they're not a dad and a mom. A man and a woman, because they don't have kids. Yeah. And so just appreciating that family looks different can look different for a lot of people.
I support the shoulds, as you know. But what I'm saying is, in the truth of the way we've been conditioned, so is it kids that make a family then?
It feels that way.
It feels that way, right?
You are raised. That's how you are raised, so that's how it feels.
Yeah, because look how, as soon as I read that, I was like, yes, of course. But when it was a couple, I was struggling to see that as a family. That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. And I think the conditioning says that when kids are there, then there's a family.
It makes it family.
Yeah.
Even when I think about like, oh, my husband and I got married, then we had our kids, now we are family.
Yeah, we got to work around that. Yeah.
Yep, we need to work around that. Okay, another unpopular opinion: parents always have a favorite child. Go.
I think when they have many.
Even when you have two, why can't you still have a favorite child?
I don't know, because sometimes, like, for example, the way I see with my mom is like, she gets two really different experiences, but now when you're going to 3, 4, surely you're gonna need...
Shut up. No, I feel like parents definitely have a child who they relate with closest. It's almost like, but I wouldn't say favorite. What's the meaning of the word favorite?
I like you better than the rest of them.
But no, like is too fickle, too shallow.
No, what I mean is you love them all.
Yeah.
But I gravitate towards. You know exactly what I mean by like.
I feel like
are you resisting?
Yeah, I am resisting. But I feel like personally, they are depending on, like with my 3 kids personally, there are seasons where I've been closer, like liking one child more than the other one. For example, like when now Tana was born or whatever, because the other 2 kids are away at school all day, and you're spending all your time with this tiny one. It's easy for you to feel like this is your favorite. Whereas now in another season where it's like maybe you're going through a particular thing, and this the older one is the only one who is actually able to articulate things, then it's easier for me to feel like, oh, that's my favorite because I'm closer to him in this season. It's never felt like it's always been the same one, but in different seasons, it's always felt like, oh, wow, I'm able to connect with this one more than I'm able to connect with the other 2. Yeah. I don't know if maybe that changes. Maybe like as you get older, now it's like, okay, definitely this is my favorite one.
Right, because they're all flatlined, and now it's like, this is it. Like they're all in the same plane.
Exactly.
Yeah. People say that people's last borns are usually their favorite.
Oh, yeah, it's easy to feel that way because it's just like, it's more of like she's so tiny and cute, and you just tenderness, But there are also seasons where it's just like, I don't want that because it's overwhelming and tiring and constantly wanting to be held and carried. And it's like, wow, I love that this one is independent and able to like communicate and live. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So there are times when it's just like, but I think just realistically as a person, even you, if you had how many sisters or how many of us in the room, your personality as it's made it's going to merge better with different people's personalities. And now you see with your kids, this is the way this one is, this is the way this one is, the way this one is. If my personality type is more in line with this one, it's like easier for me to relate with them. You see what I mean? Zach, for example, he is a really super boisterous, adventurous kind of like person, and Mukeni is exactly like that. So when they're together, it always looks like, wow, look at these 2 best friends. But also when I see him interacting with the other 2, it's not like, it still gives that vibe, but like in a different way.
I get it. Yeah, it's like that personality thing. Actually, this is what I heard, that the family, the parent who you have the most issue with is the one who you share the same mental health problem. And the way they went to elaborate was is that it's like, it's not saying just like mental health. He did say mental health conditions, like actual mental health conditions, but also he said like my now his dad was like, personality wise also they were kind of alike. And the truth is that's true. I have to be here to say my dad is also a very sensitive child. He was born very sensitive. So he's very emotional, right? But he's not like, now he's a man, he hasn't been conditioned to be as expressive as I am, but the emotions are still there. And when I counted all the things that my dad is kind of like, it's basically like me.
Right.
And that was severely humbling.
And also now when a child is younger, the one who it's like you're the same with them, it's easier to get along with them. But sometimes as they get older, the one who is similar to you is the one you don't get along with at all, because it's like you can see
that about. What is
so
that
much
about?
Yeah, and actually,
because
that's
now,
really
funny enough, I would say that my sister and my dad are definitely closer because they've just found like things to align with. Even though personality-wise, sometimes I can see that like being overly emotional is like me and my dad. And then me and my mom are very similar in personality. In a way that seems like we get on like quite easy.
So and that translates, by the way.
Yeah,
I see it. Yeah, really? I think it's like something to do. The way I see it is like a sense of responsibility and being in charge of things that you have that I also see in your mom. Oh yeah, almost like I just handle things, be on top of things. We are similar like that. Planning, organizing, whatever kind of like thing, which I don't see in Aggie as much. Aggie is just more like fun, living life, chasing my dreams. Whereas you and your mom, I see that element. Yeah, so I can. Yeah, and in our sibling story, we said, is it that Aggie doesn't have that, or is it like she's not permitted or ever given that? That's like is there any space for her to be that? Because I'm always that. Let me tell you something. Human interactions, human relationships are so complex. I don't feel like it's even possible to. Yeah, they're just so nuanced. It's impossible to put a thing on it and be like, no, all parents are this or all relatives are this. It's really difficult to do that. I'm pretty sure that whatever you choose as a popular or unpopular opinion, you could find evidence to that regard. You know what I mean? You're right. That's a good point. Here's a really interesting one. An unpopular opinion about family is that there's a difference between family and relatives. Yeah, and then someone else went on to say being related does not warrant an obligation to relate. I don't know if I agree with that. Being related does not warrant an obligation to relate. I feel like now assuming, well, to be honest, we've used the example of like the South African, whoever, I'm not obligated to relate to them. But obligated meaning like now, for example, you see how you like meet someone after so many years and be like, hey, I'm your uncle. And it's like, okay, you can choose to build a relationship with them or not. But the fact that in a lot of our cultures, it's kind of like, this is your uncle, or this is your cousin, even if they've done nothing to you. But the fact that they're your relative, it's kind of like you feel this thing of like, we should know each other, at least know that this person exists. I don't feel that. Oh, really? I don't feel that at all. There's many family members who I've met and that's it. Like I'm never going to interact any more than that. Like just because it's like, do I need another uncle? Do you know what I mean? And equals are cousins. And growing another bond, like no. Yeah. I really do agree with that for sure. It's like really? I think it's like who I know now I know. By the way, you guys come out tomorrow and you say there's a DNA and my dad is not my dad, my mom is not my mom. It's okay. It's okay. This is us. This is us. This is what I've known. And that's that. I feel like I respect like now what the other person said, being related doesn't make you family. Yeah. The family essence that we've created is more important to me than blood. Way more. So if it turns out any of my family is not my blood, it makes no difference to me whatsoever. That's my family. But so then why do you feel like why is it that when people, for example, you're raised in a home where you think that these are your parents, but then let's say your dad, you're at 18, they tell you actually your dad was not actually your dad. I feel like it can lead to, even though right now you're saying okay, it won't make a difference, there's some sense of like identity of just being able to look at someone and knowing that you came from them. I feel like there's a sense of identity that comes from that we can't like we can't just disregard for it. For sure, no. Yeah. Especially at 18. Yeah. Girl, yeah. At 18, everything is an identity thing. You know, there's a place that feels that way. And actually, I saw this girl who was complaining that her dad didn't tell her that she had two sisters who lived like close by or something. And that was problematic. Yeah, I don't know. Is that something I'm going to crucify? I don't know. So here's another thing. I also feel like I've interacted with different people or different family dynamics to know that there are people who that element of blood means a lot to them. Oh, yeah? Like they meet someone, especially, would I say Kikuyus? Because I feel like Zach's family, I've interacted with them and it seems like a lot like that. Like even that concept of like, we are family. Me, I was just like, I mean, I guess so. I mean, now we're now married into someone, but it's like family, like, okay, we are now related through marriage or related through blood, but there's an extent to which I feel like some people overemphasize the concept of being blood related, like your grandmother and my grandmother, and now this person's cousins, whatever, so we are cousins or whatever. Yeah, some people it just means more to some people than it does to others, I guess. Yeah.
Me, family means something. Family means a lot.
Not
versus the blood element. Yeah. No. Because actually, like for example, Israel has two.
Tell the audience who Israel is.
Israel, oh my God, I've not mentioned Israel here before.
You have, but in case someone's listening to the first time.
Israel is like the love of my life. He is my now 4-year-old baby cousin, who's Uncle Short's son. Uncle Short is my mom's brother. We are so close. So anyway, Uncle Short married, and his wife has 2 other children, and for sure, it's like the relationship is gonna take time to build because they're a bit older. It's like it's not like just pick up and now it's like you have a bond or whatever.
Israel's older siblings. Okay.
So it's like for me, it's like that I now consider them as that element is important to me. That the blood itself, it's neither here nor there.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I would say for me as well.
I think that's what matters more, right?
Yeah, definitely that's what matters.
Yeah.
And then also it's just like what is how much opportunity do we have to relate? Because I feel like there are relatives who you might be a third cousin, but we are closer than with a first cousin. You know what I mean? Or you could be a first cousin and we are closer than with my sibling because maybe our lives, I support you more, you support me, I'm coming to your events, you're coming to my events, we have our personalities match or something like that. So I feel like it's not necessarily at the distant ones are the ones who are going to be distant
that
with.
Makes sense.
Exactly. Not necessarily this is your sibling, so you're definitely going to be closer than you are with a cousin. Not necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There feels like a hierarchy.
It feels like a hierarchy, but sometimes.
And even do you have cousins, an example of that?
Yeah. Okay. So for example, I have cousins who my dad's sister's kids. They are really close. If you follow my Instagram, you always see me tagging them, Nikki and Sharon.
Oh yeah,
we are super close, like close, like they are my siblings. I can't like in my head they are my siblings.
Yeah.
And I have other cousins who we've also grown up together, but it's not in the exact same way. But with them, we've had really similar experiences. Both our parents struggled with alcoholism, and so a lot of our experience, like growing up experiences, are very like it just makes sense. And then the way our lives have kind of like evolved, we are all kind of like around the same spheres of progression in life as the other people. So like around the whatever seasons of like having kids and getting married. So it just makes sense, you know, kind of thing. So and also when their mom passed away, we were able to be there for them in a very, very unique way. And so because of that, it just feels like it's more the experiences we've had together that are making us close as family, as opposed to like you're my cousin. Yeah.
I for sure, because of how the world is changing, I think it's more important to emphasize on family as opposed to blood relation, because things are mixing. Then tomorrow you just find out this person is from nowhere. You are not related at all. But that should not change the love that you have for them.
Yep. Here's a positive one that someone shared. An unpopular opinion about families is that supportive fathers are normal for some people. You see, that's a positive one.
Guys, would someone like to comment on this?
Triggering, very triggering.
Yeah, great for you. I love that so much.
I know.
For other people. And actually, when I watch it, I'm like, let me just condition myself to accept this, because if I know this is normal, then I'm going to hopefully align with someone who sees this as normal too.
Right. Like when I watch Wams, you follow her on Instagram, guys. She's a fantastic creator. She posts about her dad all the time and like hanging out with him, going for lunch, like they go on holidays and stuff like that together. Sometimes it can be so triggering. Oh my gosh. And then there's a video she did with him where it's like when they go places, because now they're at the age where it could be like you could be my sugar daddy. So whenever there are places and there are other people around, they'd be like, hello daughter. And she'll be like, hi dad, so that everyone can know this is daughter and dad. And even just the shooting of the video, I was just like, wow, that's lovely.
Must be so nice.
It's so nice. And in fact for me it's just so outside.
Denim Carter, I also talks about how dad really well.
Kate as well, exactly. Sometimes for me it's just like, because I've just never experienced that, it's my mind really struggled to envision. In fact, sometimes when I see that happen, like a good dad-daughter relationship, I almost feel like, are you guys pretending?
Oh, because that's because not real
like
to you
how?
At all.
What kind of dad? Like, what do you mean?
You don't have memories when you were younger at all of that?
I do, but I don't trust them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't trust them because it's like, as a child, what the fuck do you know? All you know is like, okay, he picked me up from school some Fridays and he took us for ice cream. but like, I mean, I also equally remember you not being there for my birthdays and me waiting by the door for you to come. You see, so I remember them both, and I can't remember how, because sometimes in hindsight, it's just like, was that good experience a really good experience? Because I can't remember exactly how I was feeling on that day when you picked me
you
up.
didn't even have the language for your emotions. That's
the thing, you see.
So for me, pre my parents separating, all I remember was a great dad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, all my memories when I was younger was like a really playful dad. He was really creative and kind of unconventional. So it's like we got to do things that maybe other kids weren't really allowed to do. My dad didn't enforce like girls this, boys this kind of thing. So I'm not all my memories before they separated were all like really good.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then do you feel like sometimes it's like when you've had, like, let's say this was how many good memories we built, but this is how many bad memories I now remember, because a lot of them have been like
when I'm older as well.
So of course I remember more of them. So now it just kind of feels like it overshadows, and it's like in my mind it's kind of hard to relate. Are these the same people? Is this the same person?
Yeah, they're very difficult, but you know, especially because of us, it was like the big separation seemed to be divorce. Who people become after divorce are very different. So for me, I can see this is the thing that happened that took you from left over to right. And it was because of all the things that you were experiencing that limited you from maybe being as good of a dad. But also because I am now older and I can see you as a person, I trust this more. Because as a child, as you said, what do you know?
But that's so unfair, because like now it just feels like that effort that you put in when I was like 0 to 10 is just being disregarded.
No, I really appreciate it, and it's probably the reason why I'm still here.
All right.
Yeah, and now where we are is like me and my dad's relationship is just getting calmer and just more balanced. You know, there's not such high lows, whatever, and I guess that's coming from knowing each other more and more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely we're now in like a safety zone, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Siblings owe each other support.
That's unpopular.
Opinion. Yeah.
Definitely unpopular.
Yeah.
Because I mean, do you know what "oh" means? "Oh" means this is something I must do. Yo, there are very few musts. There are very few musts.
Let's think about the reality of like just a situation where it's like maybe you don't hate your sister, you don't love them or whatever, but your parents are dead. You have means and your siblings don't.
Yeah.
Would you feel like you owe them?
I
whether
feel
or not
that
you're close.
I might feel that. Like, but I can't impose that as like that's what happens with siblings. No, I feel like not even that. I don't even think it needs to get to owe, because I want to support my family. If in whichever way that I can, I'm going to do it. I know that black tax is not supposed to be a great thing. No, black tax is not a great thing. But as long as I have the means and somebody, like now my grandma needs something, I'm going to do whatever I need to do. That's just what it is. It's not every single family member, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely feel for my sisters, like my siblings, I definitely feel like I don't know if I would say
it's tricky.
Okay, I feel like I definitely don't think it's but I also don't think it's just like it's just a choice and I can choose if I want to kind of thing. I feel like there's something in between and I don't know what that word is. It's almost just like, is it a sense of responsibility?
Yeah, it's like
I just like
I think that's a good word.
It's more that one. It's not like like no, you can be like, excuse me, I need my school fees paid, but also it's not like you sort yourself out.
Tough luck.
Yeah, it's more like that responsibility kind of. But especially because we have so many examples of people taking advantage of like black tax and like putting people in situations which they literally cannot afford. Maybe because of that, it's why people would say that this is an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Of like,
no, I definitely. No, I'm so sorry. No one owes you. No one owes you anything. And the faster you get, you believe that, the better for everyone there is. And in fact, maybe there is an overdependence, like dependency between family members because of that idea that you are owed anything. You are owed nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So in a situation where you see siblings who you can see one is really, really, really struggling, and the other one is like a person of means. And the one who's struggling, let's say, is super young, let's say is like a 16-year-old or whatever, and this other person is 30, and you ask them, oh, how's your sister? Well, I don't know, but she lives on the streets, kind of. Would you automatically think you're so mean? Or would you think, yeah, I mean, that you're within your right to not support your sister at all? Nothing has happened between them. They are not fighting or whatever. They just don't feel like it's their responsibility to take care of their sibling.
I wouldn't go either to like, you're such a horrible person, or like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I would go to curiosity of why the hell?
Yeah, because I just don't think it's my responsibility
to take care of your 16-year-old sister.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have her.
What the fuck am I doing at your house?
And you see,
what am I doing in your house?
So then don't you think in reality, because even when you say they don't, but now in reality, the way we live like day to day, do we not then put that responsibility or that owing or that pressure on people to be there for their siblings?
It's like my values. And when I hear someone with a contradicting value and that's just how they stay, it depends on how deep of that value is. And maybe I cannot relate to you, not because you are a terrible person, but where are we? Where are we with each other? That literally because lost for what?
Why are we not able to call out someone's wrong value?
It's not wrong. It's their value. There's nothing wrong with it. People are different. My values are mine and your values are yours. And I'm not going to, I don't even have to judge it for it because I don't know where it comes from. I have no idea where this comes from. For me,
I judge it 100%. And I think some values are wrong. Because some people, like, if you value, for example, your independence over my safety, like in this kind of situation, for me, that's a wrong value, because as humans, we're supposed to coexist here together. Like, we're looking out for each other. So it's just like kind of...
Where's that should coming from? That we should look out for each other. There are some things,
you see, I refuse to believe that it's just the world. It's just like everybody is individualistic, and there's things which, like, you just believe. Me, I believe in kindness. You believe in being an asshole, and that's just a value, and I need to respect that.
I no, not even that. I just don't need to be around it. I don't even have. There's no energy that I'm asserting here.
Yeah,
it's just I don't think I need to be at your house.
So if you're a correct value to hold,
I don't need to judge it. I don't need to impose the judgment because I don't know where it comes from. Because somebody made you this way, and I don't know why they made you this way.
No, I feel like
maybe because maybe if you are 16-year-old and you are on the streets and you are on your own, so you learned that this is how it goes. I don't even need to dissect into it, but I don't know what I'm going to do when I see your 16-year-old sister and you're my friend and she's out on the streets, and apparently maybe I'm not even allowed to help her because
because that's my value. That's my value that we don't.
And I remember there's somebody who has sent a DM that was along the lines of, my friend, like, Sidri goes out, she's always sleeping with married men, she has fights constantly, and it's like, this is not who I am. What are you even doing exposing yourself to that person? Because they have a group of people who they are the same, and to them this is joy and fun, but it's not my joy and fun.
Right.
I can't judge it. I don't like to judge it because maybe some of my own values are the reasons why I have some of the issues that I have. Because now I feel like I'm so obligated to help my family. And how much of that have I come to you sighing out of my asshole? So maybe if I toned down my bloody values, you know,
maybe.
How much do we bitch about certain things? Something has just come to you and it's come at you left field. Yeah. How are you enjoying your values, sweetie? The right values.
It's not going that well.
So then, I don't know. Maybe the other person, the reason why they're so a person of means is that they don't.
All right.
I don't know, guys.
It's just so hard for me to sit back in some like situations where, and maybe this is why sometimes I've been called judgmental. I've been called like, you're meddling, mind your own business kind of thing. Because I just feel like in some situations where I really feel like this value you're upholding is
terrible,
a bad value, and you need to like,
your opinions are wrong.
Yeah, and sometimes that's actually something that I work through in therapy, because like people who value, for example, independence over community, sometimes for me that's really problematic. It's just like choosing, like, we are going for this family road trip, but you're choosing, you want to rest and be at home in bed, but there's this opportunity to come together as a family.
Morugi.
And it's not all the time. It's just like maybe in certain situations, it's like I really struggle to be like, I don't see how you've established that this is what is better. Do you know what I mean?
And for me, that's
really hard for me.
severe anger towards people like that.
Yeah.
It's like, do the group thing. Suck it up. Yeah, I used to feel that too. But here's the thing. I realized I was projecting my resentment towards their sense of freedom.
Exactly. I know that.
So whose value is wrong?
Theirs. For not supporting
Whose
mine.
value is wrong?
Theirs for not supporting mine until I actually figure it out.
Guys, do you see how that has quickly changed?
Somebody responded to this and said, your home isn't as cute. I don't know if they're telling me or if they were
my God.
ready.
Oh my God. The things we deal with on this social media.
Honestly, y'all be dragging. I be catching strays for nothing. Nothing. Okay. You have one? I feel like I've read most.
Even me. Ooh, family members who refuse to go to therapy are the reason some have to go to therapy.
Family who?
Family who refuse to go to therapy are the reason some have to go to therapy.
Yeah, that's definitely not an unpopular opinion. That, in fact, is just a fact. That is, in fact, just a fact. And yeah, I guess just go to therapy, guys.
Go to therapy.
What can we tell you? Here's another one saying, it's okay to still want a relationship with the same parent who abandoned you.
Yeah. In fact, you never stop wanting that. So if you have an opportunity to have it, it's completely okay. Yeah. It's okay to want it. And it's okay to have it. I wouldn't judge someone at oh my God, where has she been all their life? Now you want no. I wouldn't judge you for going back to a parent who's come back because that want and that need and that desire has always been there. Yeah. And you can't turn that off. It's just how we are made, I guess.
I guess so. And maybe that's the thing which makes me feel like there's something with blood, even though it's like we can't acknowledge it. It's like the blood element is still a thing. You could have been raised still with the best adoptive parents, but your dad who abandoned you 10 years ago comes back and it'll still be like, there'll be that longing of like, I want to know him. Exactly. I want to be in a relationship with him.
Yet, when a father abandons his kids, the mother is absolutely not letting him come back into their lives. That's definitely popular. That happens all the time.
Well, yeah.
You left my kids. But look at when you think about it from a perspective of the child, they always want that connection. So you shouldn't be the barrier. But a mom,
yeah, no, but definitely it's like, oh, you mean him coming back to her as in a relationship?
No. Just as in coming back into the kid's life after like abandonment for like 10 years.
Okay, yeah, I would imagine it's coming more from a place of like trying to protect the children. Yeah. But if you're able to establish, actually maybe sometimes it's selfish of just like, no, you left me for this.
How dare you?
No, you're staying out. But if she's been able to establish that this person has changed and they're able to now be a good dad, why not?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but
so.
I guess I mean
it just feels different.
It
feels different when you've seen your kids be abandoned.
For sure. Another unpopular opinion about family: your parent doesn't have to be your friend.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
definitely.
It's a sad reality, but I think it's truth.
Is it a sad reality?
I feel like it's sad. I love the fact that I feel like when I think of my mom, it's just like, oh wow, she's also my friend. Like she was friendly as we were growing up. It's like, someone who I could talk to and whatever. Yeah. But in reality, I know a lot of people don't have that. And some people, it's like they have a very respectable relationship. Yeah. It's just like, this is my mother and this is me, I'm her daughter and whatever, but they're not necessarily friends.
Yeah, but actually also, like, the reason why I say that is that because in that friendship, there's also more chances of more friction because I'm seeing more of you. I'm seeing more of the way that you interact, the things that you do. You're seeing mine too.
Yeah.
So it's like, it can cause more. In fact, sometimes that distance ends up having a more stable, consistent relationship because you're rarely coming into situations where you're having to bump heads. Exactly. But yeah, I would say I guess that's something peaceful to think about.
Exactly. And you as a parent, you don't necessarily have to be your kids' friends. I know that feels harder to accept.
Yeah.
You don't have to be your child's friend.
My mom wasn't my friend until I was an adult.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I liked that. That makes sense to
There's
me.
a parenting seminar that Zach and I once attended, and where they were explaining to us, first of all, about like how generational gaps lead to like parents not really being able to like connect their kids. So like now our parents are boomers.
Our parents are Gen X. Or your parents boomers?
60 something.
No, or mine are not.
Oh. You're born in the 60s. Your mom is definitely born in the 60s, isn't she?
She's a Gen X. She's not a boomer.
No, that's a boomer.
50s.
No.
My mom is in her 50s.
Are you sure?
Yeah. My mom is Gen X. She's not a boomer.
let's such generational. Anyways, yeah, generations.
Yeah.
But basically, they were saying about how there's usually a gap in. Okay, here's Gen X. Okay, my parents are boomers, definitely. It's a difference of a few years, I guess. Yeah, because 46 to 64 is boomers. Then Generation X is 65 to 80.
So my dad's a boomer, but my mom's a Gen X.
Okay, yeah. So they were explaining that the gap where it's just like your parents are boomers, there's a whole generation in between where they are and where you are to millennials is what makes it so difficult for us to be able to relate, because literally a whole generation has passed where they were born and a whole other generation has passed in between. And then now the kids are so different. But basically what they were telling us in this parenting seminar is that and it was more of like a religious biblical perspective, is that God calls us to be like to raise your children in terms of like disciplining them, in terms of like showing them the path, showing them the right way to live and to grow up, protecting them, loving them, caring for them. But the element of friendship is like, it's a secondary one.
Yeah.
You see, kind of thing. It's just like that would be, it's a really nice to have, but it's not the main thing. And they were saying this in terms
especially
of like
when they're kids,
exactly.
right?
And a lot of parents sometimes feel like they are failed if their child is not their friend. But it's just like they were just telling us that no, that is not necessarily it, because you could be doing great at parenting and your child is not necessarily your friend. Yeah, especially the teenage years.
I can see how that would feel some kind of way. But knowing myself as a teenager, I don't expect friendship from my kids until they have their head fully screwed
but
on.
There's some people like I see, like, do you follow Verushka, the lady for Verushka Wigs? Yeah. She seems like she's like has such a great friendly relationship with her daughter.
That's so nice.
It looks really lovely. Yeah,
I like the parent first. Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be different when it's your
when
kids.
It's my baby. I was like, oh my God, my baby.
You see, my mom was the kind of person who's like, she always wants to know what's happening with you guys. Like, you know, where are you guys hanging out? What are you doing? Like, what's like your current pain point? Like, more from a point of like, I just want to like know and just be there with you guys.
I actually felt like most of my childhood, what I felt from my mom, I'll say, is that I felt like there was always this something hovering over me, making sure I'm okay. And that to me was a really important part of what that felt really, really good. Yeah. And actually, I think my friendship with her later on came from you excelled so much at that. And so now the friendship felt like a gift of that afterwards. Right. So there's something like, even when I see parents who are not exactly like, oh, friendly, jumpy all the time, but it's like, I know you're solid, and I know you're a solid parent.
And they're doing what they can to make sure that the kids' needs are taken care of. They're
always there, whatever they need to do.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention and you describe it like that, that's exactly how I would want my kids to also remember. It's just like, mom was there to make sure
that we were okay.
She was a mother, and she was making sure we are fine and like we have the things we need and whatever. Yeah.
But maybe what happens, like, let's say now with Verushka, is that she's able to do that, but now like it just maybe personality-wise or how she relates or whatever, they get that too earlier on.
Yeah. And especially because she's a single mom and that's the only child. So of course that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Another unpopular opinion about family, and this one is to do with marriage, so I thought this was really interesting. Women can still be close to their family after marriage. See, that's a positive one. Another positive one. Nice. Yeah. And I thought that was really
crazy
good.
That it's unpopular.
It's crazy, right? But I think it's because of like it's just maybe it's the Africanness of it, but like the concept of even you spending Christmas with your own family, that is very un-African. Do you know that? No. Because it's kind of like you as the woman have now gotten married into his family. So now it's like everything is there. So if he allows that you guys are able to spend Christmas with your family, that's phenomenal. Yeah, it's for those who are in modern marriages, better for us, because then it can be like, yeah, we spend Christmas with your family, we can spend it with my family, we can all spend it together, like us more often than not we spend it together, and that's really nice.
Yeah,
as it should be, you would think. Yeah,
shaking
but it's
in my boots
an
at
unpopular
the thought
opinion.
of like being.
No, the number of times I even get DMs of like, how have you managed to still stay close to your family after getting married? And I'm like, we are literally all still in the same Nairobi. Why wouldn't we be close? You know, kind of thing. It's like maybe a lot of people are just like, oh, how do you feel about like your sisters coming to your marital home? I'm like, guys, are we serious?
Where are we?
Yeah, exactly.
We're still living in mad huts.
That's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. Women can still be close with their family even after marriage.
100%. Another unpopular opinion about family is that it's overrated.
No.
couldn't agree with that one, Han. I'm gonna need to say no to that.
Definitely not. Yeah.
I don't think it's rated high enough.
It is underrated. Yeah, no, definitely no.
God.
But I feel like if you have a really amazing family, it's easy to feel this way.
Definitely.
If you don't have a good family, then maybe thinking the way that you're thinking is probably for the best, so that you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. But family is definitely not overrated.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say it's that. If you don't come from a good one, I see why it's overrated. The way that it's gonna seem, because everyone, left, right, and center. Joyo Murugi, Suju, she's gone well with her sisters. Suju, who else is there with her? It's like, guys, I'm not overdue. But when you have the opportunity to have those kind of relationships and love it like that, I think it's one of the most beautiful experiences ever. Sometimes I'm like, God, you did this. You decided that these were my family. Amazing.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay, let me read maybe my last one. Someone says that, your sister's husband is not your brother. Why? No? Isn't he?
I don't know why he wouldn't be.
Okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe the person is alluding to the level of closeness that they imagine like someone would have with a brother. I definitely feel like anyone's husband there needs to be appropriate boundaries between someone and like your sister's husband or your whatever, a cousin's husband, whatever it is. I feel like there needs to be appropriate boundaries. But why would they not be a brother? Because they're literally your brother-in-law, so it's literally they're your brother.
Yeah, maybe they might be alluding to like the boundaries for sure, but otherwise,
why not?
defo. Yeah.
Why not, girl?
And me, like, if somebody's like, let's say it's like now she, my cousin, she's husband, I would, when I'm grouping my family, I'm going to, he's there. He counts for sure. Yeah. But what, I guess, I don't know if this is unpopular, but actually this is more of the popular one. Your in-laws are not your family.
They are.
Yeah, that's what people say. Especially when shit hits the fan, that's when you really see it.
But people will always like be like, oh, we're family, especially like now when you become someone's relative and like they see they can get something from you or you can do something for them. But now when things are problematic, now you're not family.
You'll be shocked.
No.
You'll be shocked.
They're definitely relatives. And maybe this is now the distinction between their relatives and there's family.
They're relatives. Because the truth is, for example, now if like any of my family members, they separate with the person.
Yeah.
It ends there.
Yeah, but family still, that happens if you decide to cut someone off. Yeah, it's ended there. But they were still family.
No, but what I mean is like now we are all together, as I'm saying, like now she's husband or whatever. We are all family. But once that ends, it's like, it's not like, oh, let me search you out.
No.
Exactly. So maybe, you're right. Related, no family.
And now if you and she were to have a fallout, are you still then speaking to Gish? Sure.
Is he speaking to me?
Well, that's the question. Yeah, maybe he. Yeah.
Is he? I doubt it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. We can't be sure, guys. Okay, here's another one. Unpopular opinion. You don't have to tell your family everything, especially if it's something controversial you love, but they don't. For example, that you're in the LGBTQ.
I don't think so. Actually, to be honest, I feel like that one is, someone needs to say that louder. It's not everything that we all need to come together and be a happy kumbaya family about. Some things are just my business, unless they need to be your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's not a secret. It's just, this is my personal business, and I don't have to announce it to everybody.
To announce it. And also, I don't need to make every single family member understand my views.
Yeah.
Right? For example, my show is old. You think me and her views are going to align about many things? No. But do we even need to discuss them? No. I know how you think and what your views are based on some things I've heard you say. And let's leave it as that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to change an 87-year-old mind.
Yeah.
83-year-old mind. I'm not trying to do that.
Actually, yeah. And I feel like sometimes as you get older, that's what enables you to actually have more pleasant relationships with people. For example, with my mom, there are some conversations I just won't bring up with her because I'm just like, I know, I
take my mic.
Thank you, yeah. Because there's some things just like, why am I? Because I know we are not going to agree. Yeah. And sometimes I see Nelly. Nelly sometimes gets caught in the whatever of back and forth with my mom. And I'm just like, she's never going to be like, she just won't. She won't see it the way you see it, you know, kind of thing. Sometimes she has like, her views on like contraception and things like that. I'm just like,
Why are we even poking this bear?
Yeah, exactly. And we already know. So why are we having that conversation? Yeah, sometimes let's just leave it as it is. Another thing family members don't need to know is like how much you earn.
Yeah,
that one I just feel like, yeah, why are we?
Especially
we don't
if
need
you
to be
know
having that conversation.
that black tax is coming.
Why are we? That's it. You don't need to be sending your pay slips due to your mom. I don't know, to your siblings. You don't need to. No, you don't.
Do not. Like that is just like the gateway to like problems, because now you're not able to say you don't have, because we know you. No, you don't need to.
Thank you. Okay, my last one, because I know our time is like spent here. Someone says, the less you are in each other's space, the better the relationship.
I won't say no to that. Because let me tell you.
Wow, that is really challenging. Wait.
So when my guka passed away, for those who don't know, I think for those who don't know, he passed away in the UK. So there was a month for him to be brought back. So I was staying at my shows, and all of us were there all the time together, and oh my God. And guess what? It's not bad, like nothing even bad, I would say, but it's just like, wow, we are really basically I had me individually had 2 sit downs. I was sat down once. Oh, I was sat down twice. Actually,
because of shouting at someone. I
know you did. No, it wasn't. But just coming with just like things of just being around each other, and then you get to see more of each other. So that's how you handle this. But so is this what you always do?
That's exactly what marriage is. You're together all the time. So
you are
why
God's
would you say
strongest
then that
soldier, baby?
Yeah, and that's the thing. So how do marriage
so if you
survive?
did have, for example, my mom and my stepdad Tim
half time apart.
Look at that flourishing.
That one actually is the best, because this sort of like you're together all the time, morning to night. Actually, I notice when Zach is on leave, we have more fights. Because the knowing during the day at least is gone, and we're just gonna see each other like in the evening at least, or just the weekend. Actually, that really helps. That one we agree with. It's an unpopular opinion, and we agree.
We definitely agree with Factual. It. Somebody actually said, "I know you, Amote. You think you've healed. You think you're enlightened. Spend a week with your family and call me back."
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah. But what is the definition of less space? Because I feel like it's also important to spend time together. It doesn't have to be like we are always together.
So we can say less being, the more you spend, the more likely there is.
No. The more
time you spend together, the more likely there is to have fiction.
But the more time you spend together, the closer you also become. And I'm saying this, for example, because of Nelly, my sister who lives with us. So I've found that, like, obviously we have more conflict. There's more conflict between me and Nelly than there is with me and my other sisters, because there's just the other ones, it's like you're only seeing each other literally what tiny percentage of the time. But with her, there's more probability of like we're going to have friction. But also we are closer because we are more in each other's lives. Like she'll know I'm at a shoot today and I've come here, whatever. We'll be able to talk at the end of the day, spend time together, have dinner together. And those elements also add something in terms of like closeness and intimacy in the relationship.
I agree.
So it's like both. It's
both. So perfect is like a good smidge of half and half.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like me and Aggie are closer because of long distance.
Yeah, because then now when you're together, you really make it count. Yeah. You will really make it count.
Yeah, and guess what? It's taken so much effort to maintain a relationship. You have to put in more effort. Yeah. So even that, it's like you respect that relationship, because guess what? You don't talk to me for a week, I don't see you. Oh, yeah, you don't talk to me for 6 months, that I won't
into you, yeah.
So you can't play games, because the relationship will just die.
And to be like, well, I did have a sister.
I remember that.
I remember my sister.
God, sometimes when I think about like the potential of ever like growing apart with her.
Yeah. But do you think about the potential of you guys living in the same place again?
I think at some point we probably are. When I think about my own life.
But even when she's here, sometimes it's just like, yeah, you've stayed together a couple of days and you're just like, you've had enough. You need some space to yourself.
We're getting better. Now, last time she was here, I had broken my leg, so she was taking care of me. Yeah. So there was like some tenderness, I guess, that was present. Also, since we don't drink, it's easier. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I guess so. When you hungover, everyone is an asshole.
Shut the
Everyone is an asshole.
Shut up. Just shut up. Do you have
Yeah.
another
Okay.
burning one?
No, those are done.
Okay, yeah, those were really interesting, guys. As you can see, there were some which were actually a bit positive, which was really, really nice.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, exactly. Please share some of your unpopular opinions about family down below. When we were doing research on this topic, I saw topics about unpopular opinions about kids. And I was like, someone was just like, kids are not that adorable. Let's call them out on their bad behavior. I was like,
I hope that's a child-free person.
I certainly hope so
Damn.
too. And there was actually one that someone sent here saying bad people, morality is not factored in who has a family. Bad people are having kids all the time. Horrible people have kids all the time.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Your
like,
worst enemy
is
who's
a beautiful
who's terrible
family.
person, abusive to everyone around, has a family.
And could be a really beautiful family. That's unfortunate, isn't it?
It is,
Anyway,
sweetie.
please share with us, guys, some of your unpopular opinions about family down below, and we'll be sure to read through them, probably talk about them on our Insta stories, which of course you'll be following us. TMI Podcast KE, Murugimunyi, Lydia KM. This is your last call to buy a ticket for our TMI live experience, which is happening this coming weekend, assuming you're watching this episode on the week before the 31st of August.
Yeah.
If you're watching after the 31st of August, forget it. You missed everything. It was phenomenal.
It was the best thing that ever happened, and too bad.
And too bad.
Too
exactly.
bad.
Wait for next year or even later in the year, because we could have more events.
Yeah.
But anyway, if it is still the week before 31st August, do buy a ticket and come. Please, 2.5 is something you're going to spend in the club buying chips in Mbili na Fanta or something like that. So please just come, guys. Use it and buy the ticket. We can't wait to meet you. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.